Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Toolizz for you, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry, and I post as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram, and I've been posting a lot this week.
Good.
Yes.
I meant to remind you that Fiber.Club has started. I have not posted. I should post, but
I can't keep track of Fiber. I'm working on a new project.
Okay, so you're just going to update the world, you're just going to keep Instagramming without a theme.
Without a theme.
Good.
Right.
It works.
I can't do this. It's February 5th, 4th, and now I have to do this. That's not going to happen.
That's fine.
It's very nice, but I'm desperately working on this project that I have a telephone meeting with, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow.
Right.
And I'm trying to get this thing that I'm working on done, and then a whole nother thing done by the time of the phone call. So I am working like a Trojan, a soldier, a Roman soldier, to try to. So I'm knitting every minute to try to get it done, so I can get the pattern semi-written. You'll see downstairs I have my graph paper. What I can't find, it honestly haven't looked that hard for, is the graph paper that's like knitted stitches. So it's the width and the height of what a knitted stitch would be. Anyway, yes, I'm designing things, and I'll tell you more about that process after my meeting on a week from Monday, because this was something we found out about at Vogue, and I filled out a form on a
iPad?
No, yeah, I think it was an iPad. I was going to say a capstan, but that's a boat. It was on a pillar. I mean, it was
right. They probably had it.
Probably an iPad on a stand on a pillar.
Yeah.
And there was a woman standing there, and you had to identify what kind of knitter you were. And yes, I could say I was an experienced knitter, a tremendously experienced knitter. But I also, having taken some of those classes, they really lit a fire as to design. And I think maybe one of the things you didn't like about the lace pattern is there's a couple very large holes in the lace that I can take one of the yarn overs away, and it then becomes
maybe better. I have to
anyway,
I'll see the swatch downstairs and I'll try and elaborate. It just, there was something that was
a little off, and I think it's the
slightly unsettling.
I think it's the triple yarn over.
Okay.
So I think if I pull it back to the double yarn over, then I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
And I think if I make it the width of this, then I think you'll get more of the pattern as it moves in and out. So anyway, the classes I took had a lot to do with design, and I want to see where I can take it. So anyway, that's my project. I'm knitting like a fool, and I was talking to Shamika. Well, not talking. I was texting Shamika back and forth. She really liked it. I showed it to her.
Because it's in pink.
I know. Well, I said, I'm working on this, and all of a sudden you popped into my head. So I thought I'd share. And she says, oh my God. So I said, well, when I get it finished, I'll show it, send you a picture and send you a copy and all of that. So this would be her color.
Be a test knitter.
Well, she could be, yes. And this is her color too. So anyway, shall I talk about
I was going to say, what have you finished?
I have finished my dress. I finished it on Monday.
Oh.
So here I was working so hard to get it finished for the weekend.
I know, and you finished the day after.
A day after. Now, I made it as a Henley, but you'll notice that now a keyhole.
Yeah.
And that's because these two things kept flipping open no matter what I did. And I said, this neck is big enough. I can get my head through. Not a problem. So I just made it into a keyhole, which makes
You could also put a button there so that if people have, like when Shamika has her big hair.
Yes, you could put a button and a button loop there. Yep. Absolutely. I'm planning to rewrite the pattern so that it has a shoulder seam, but then a semi-raglan from one of the classes that I took at Vogue. So I'm excited about that. And then here is my dress.
It looks so good.
I love the skirt. So this is blocked. And I just laid it out on my blocking
boards.
I hate to think that the mine were like hopscotch squares.
Mine are too.
On the dining room table. And it just laid out really pretty. It did get longer. Yeah. So by about 2 or 3 inches. Nice. So I love it. I think I'm going to wear it to my talk at Manhattan College on Thursday.
Oh, very nice.
I have one of my black jackets that I thought I'd put over it. I do think I have very slender leggings that I will wear, not the big wide yoga pants. Because this will stick to my stockings like a fool. So I think in my next pattern, I'm going to have a little bit more
shaping?
Waist shaping. I'm going to have it start right below the bust to come in. And I think it could come in about 1 inch or 2, actually. And then come out. But I'm really quite pleased with it.
That's good.
Very, very pleased. And I think I may also, I'm not sure, I think maybe a little bit more ribbing on the sleeves so that it would kind of go...
Mimic the dress
more. Yeah, so that's another project. But I really like this. And it was so funny. I was at an event today where I was the cook. And so finally when it was over and it was ending and I had finished cleaning up and washing everything, there were some women sitting around saying that, and one said she was bored. She's retired and it's wintertime. In the summer, she and her husband have a sailboat. Motorboat, trawler. And they go down and sit on the trawler, you know, and read books and do whatever. And they also go away for about 4 weeks in August, September. So she's not bored in the summer, but in the winter she's bored. And I said, well, I was taking up knitwear design. So I thought that at Manhattan College, someone might ask me, what have you done? And I could say, my dress, knitwear design. So anyway, I told her I was getting into knitwear design. She was very interested. And I was wearing I want to say Symmetry. That's right. I want to call it Serenity. Symmetry.
Is it Serenity or Symmetry?
I think it's Symmetry.
Okay.
Top. And another woman came up telling me all about this other woman who knits like crazy. And she wore this multicolored thing. And I went, and she made it all herself. And I said, well, I made this. And I turned to the other one. I said, I wear what I make. You know, it's not like I'm just kind of, it's not like quilts where you could suffocate yourself in quilts. I wear what I make. I just love this. I am so comfortable in this. I can throw it on. The only thing I might do is I might take out my bind off on this sleeve because I managed to do a very tight bind off. So I may take it through the ribbing and up a little further so I can skip the same amount of ribbing and a looser bind off. But other than that, I'm really pleased. So this is what I finished. What did you finish?
Well, I know I told you all that I had finished my brioche mode. I don't believe I've shown you all my brioche mode. It looks phenomenal.
I love the color.
Yes. I have not woven in ends yet. I
can see all the ends from this side.
Yes. I am going to run it, I want to soak it in the sink and then run it on the spin cycle in the washer. And then lay it out. But I just have not had a minute to do that. So I finished that about 2 weeks ago. And then...
Does your washer have a gentle or
it has a delicate and a hand wash.
It does. Why not run it through a hand wash?
Okay.
Because it'll do this whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah.
Whoosh, whoosh. It's not very...
I just don't know what the yarn is going to do. Because it's not from a established dyer.
Our hand wash doesn't do much. It really does this, and it holds there, and then it goes. So it couldn't get much more delicate, and then you can put it on extra spin to get the water out. You know, if you don't want to just keep it in the sink. Anyway, this
is the Stephen West Hvammsvik blanket. I finished. It's the smallest size.
I love it.
Some of my friends were teasing me that it was not of a significant size. At which point I'm
it's
like,
a baby blanket.
No, but it's a baby blanket, and, you know, like...
We do need to work on the ends, because the baby will
Oh, no. This just came out of the dryer this morning.
Ah, okay.
This went through the washer last night, and then our dryer was not done drying the things that were in the dryer when we went to bed, so we had to keep running the dryer, so this could not go in the dryer, so it went in the dryer this morning. And so I like to weave in the ends after.
Okay.
So that they, like, settle out and, like, find where they're gonna... Because a lot of these I can just clip because they're woven through.
Yes, I see that.
Yes. But, like, the ends, like, right along the edge, I'll put a knot and then weave them into the I-cord and then clip them there.
And the baby's not here yet.
Baby is still not here.
Excellent
Friend is still pregnant. Friend is very upset she is still pregnant.
It's the first baby.
Yeah, but she's like, excuse me, can we be done with this? Thanks. It's very funny.
She won't be saying that 3 weeks.
No. She's...
You do get tired of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, last night, I finished these are the 2022 Advent socks from Woolens and Nosh. These are the DK weight. And, yeah, I finished them last night. So that was exciting.
You have another one.
Yeah, on the heel.
Yep.
So these I will weave in the end at the cuff, and then they will get worn.
Perfect.
But yeah, so far I have finished 3 whips in 2024.
That's
so
great.
My goal of finishing 1 a month. So far, we are on track.
Very good.
And I even picked up... So, moving on to what we are working on.
Well, wait a minute. I wanted to finish
you finished another thing?
No, but I'm saying I wanted to get the Crafter Gamer Geek sweater done. And I did. And I've gotten this done. I'm not working on some of the yarn that I got
at
Rhinebeck because of this idea of the project. And I'm trying to get
through it. You're trying to get your brain all the way through it so that
if you remember Natalie Warner was talking about collections. So I thought that at my meeting it would be good if I had even 2 things can be a collection.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm working on, and I could see if I can. So if that works out well, and I can figure out test knitters and stuff like that. Then the next step I think might be a sweater using this pattern, and then I can calm down a bit. Well, I could also then go into the lace version. So all right. So anyway, I've got a bunch of things just exploding in my mind. That something like this probably won't show up the pattern as well, which is okay because I bought it to be kind of a plain Jane knit, and I could devise a plain Jane knit. This was Bad Sheep. This was one of the dealers from the other event.
Wool and Folk.
Yes. So this could be a different design. So there's that, and then I've got. Then I think I talked last week about a sweater, a jacket that I had seen on the 5th floor, and I came home 6th floor, and I came home and I found 7 skeins that somewhat mimic the red
look
that jacket has.
So this is Amelia on Bounce and Stomp by Nerd Girl, and Pandora on Titan from Lizz.
Right, and
who was at Vogue.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I got this at Indie Untangled years ago.
2019.
Was that when we did the
That was the last time
photo?
it's back. Yep.
Okay. So I have enough yarn to make a jacket, and I think I want to do it as a linen stitch. So it's merely a matter of sketching it out.
And what you think, like one row this, one row that, one row this,
no,
one row that? No, I think
we start off with this at the top.
Okay.
And then we start marling with this and this. So we kind of one row this, 2 rows this, 2 rows that, and we slowly work into this at the bottom, which is what that jacket was.
I thought it was more of 2 rows this, 2 rows this, 2 rows this, 2 rows this. I thought it was more stripey.
I didn't get that. Anyway,
did you take a photo of it, or did I take a photo of it?
No, you took a photo of it. You definitely took there. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Well, I like the idea of it going from light to dark.
I think you should swatch it both. I think you should do a swatch the way that it's in the
what
photo.
I was thinking of doing is doing linen stitch 1 color, then linen stitch 2 color, and then so linen stitch 1 color, linen stitch 2 color, then linen stitch 1 color as I went down the jacket.
I think it will give you a different effect, and if you're trying to get this effect...
I wasn't really trying to get that effect. I was, in my mind, I like the effect
that I had. And for all those who are wondering what the effect is we are referring to, this is the jacket. This is a picture of the jacket.
And then, see, that is rather a pinky lace that she had. And so I got this. Okay. So I thought, and what I was going to do on the button bands was actually make them like a trellis, so that this can be kind of woven through, and you poke it up, and you weave it through, and you poke it up. Anyway, we'll keep you posted. Yeah. Because I had a skein of this in blue, blue-gray. And I liked that, but it wouldn't go with that. Right. So now I have this. So this is not from this year, and I still want to make everything that I bought this year. Unfortunately, I also put it away. I did take pictures, so I'm going to have to be up here with my camera, my phone, to isolate what's what. I was
going to say, or you need to get out some more project bags, so you just have them in project bags down there.
I could do that.
So that they're not, so that it's not as, because I feel like you were feeling it's very untidy.
It was very untidy.
And so I feel maybe if you have them project bagged, it might help with the tidy feeling.
And so rather than, and also because some of these I bought with the idea of making a breathing space in mine, and I'm not going to be doing the breathing space. I'll be doing, I think I'll be doing something of my own design. Exactly what that'll be, I'm not sure. So, you know, it's kind of evolving. And it may turn out that the meeting a week from Monday doesn't turn out well at all. In that case, we'll do something
Figure it out.
We'll pivot.
Ha! Yes, we will.
Anyway, go ahead.
So what I've been working on is I pulled out my Nebbia sweater.
Oh, that's a good idea. Which
is the very large, oversized, drop shoulder, stripey thing that I've been working on since like 2020.
That is so nice.
Isn't it? It's, Verdant Griffin, I think? I think this is Verdant Griffin.
That's
yarn. Bugga. I think this is Verdant Griffin Bugga.
Okay.
Which is a throwback. Yeah, because I got this at one of the very first Vogues we went to.
Ah, okay. When they were there.
When they were there in that back corner.
Right.
Where they hung the skeins and they had to go and get them from where they had them in big
bins.
Buckets. Yep. Yes. So I picked this back up. And I was going to go like gangbusters. I was like, all right, I think this next step is I have to knit 7 inches. Oh, well, where are we in those 7 inches?
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, hold on. And I was like, all right, let me measure. All right, we're like, okay, let's find out what the next step is on the pattern.
It wasn't 7 inches.
It was 7 centimeters.
7 centimeters. Half.
Less than
half.
Less than half.
I'm just estimating. So you have to take something out?
So I did already.
Okay. And then what do you do?
So I found my pink. I had bought a pair of pink like size, I think these are size 1s. Yeah, size 1s. I'd gotten these to use for sock knitting, because I like 1s and I like the wooden, and so these are likies. And I figured I'm working on, these are size 3s.
Okay, so the 1 should be able to pick it up.
So the 1 should be able to pick it up. And the pink, I would be able to see it.
Yes.
So I did, and I went a little bit less because I measured it. So I also marked where the measuring from should be, which is right here.
Okay.
Where the pink is now, line is now. And I did it holding it up, because if you're going to wear a thing, you should measure it with the tension on it. And laying down and holding it up, I measured it, and it was about, I think, 6 centimeters is where I put the line, where I put the stitches on the needle and then rip back to, because I was like, I can knit another 2 or 3 rows to make up that centimeter.
Okay.
So I've done now 2 rows. I need to remeasure.
There was a thing out here before.
And I do prefer, and this one's good because it's also 2 3/4. So I actually really like using the wooden or
I know. Earlier.
I like using, for these kinds of things, I do like, and for socks, I like using wooden measures because they don't stretch.
No, they don't.
And especially like with socks, it's nice to know, like, I have a wooden ruler in my sock bag that is 6 and 3/8, 6 and 3/8, 6 1/4.
Yeah, 6 and 3/8.
And it's always going to be essentially exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how long the foot of my sock needs to be before I do my heel that I do.
Okay.
So that works. So this is, we're right there.
Yeah.
So I will start doing the short rows now that I have tanked back. And I did this at brunch this morning. And it was very funny because the guy who was sitting a few tables over was trying very hard not to watch me just go shrink, shrink, shrink with my yarn. Because he was like looking at me very curious, but didn't want to stop his story or like,
and to find out what are you doing?
Yeah. So that was pretty fun. But other than that, that's what I have picked up and will be working on.
All right, so I should show this.
And what I'm thinking about is I'm going away next weekend with some girlfriends.
Yes.
And I'm trying to figure out what to take. Because I think this will be too much.
Are you going by car or by plane?
By plane.
That's too big.
So I'm debating bringing this guy that is the Earth and Air. It's Brioche. It's decently compact. And maybe a sock. But also, like, this feels, I don't know. Like, I like it and I think I'll wear it in the winter.
I think you wear it a lot.
I think I'll wear it a lot. But I think right now
it's not bringing you joy.
It's not bringing me joy. I think it will. I think it's a good, like, couch project. I think this could be a good couch project.
So what's another whip that might bring you joy?
That's the thing. I have to look. I have to go and look. I might. Ooh, I could bring the Ribblr Raglan.
Okay.
Which is the stripy, the blue stripy one. Let me see if I can find a photo. Because I did that. And that is all in, it's 3 skeins of yarn, so it's all in one triangular bag that I have.
That sounds perfect.
So that could be good. Let's see. This one.
Oh, yes. I love that. Yes, that would bring me joy.
I think that'll bring me joy. And I also think that it will be good for the flights. So maybe I'll bring a sock or 2 for when we're out and about and just around. And then that good thinking. I will, that's So we'll see how far that goes. But for now, I'm going to kind of focus on this as a, well, I'm going to count how many rows are between so that, and well, I'm going to look at the pattern.
Good idea. And
I'm going to see if I have to mimic this same depth on the other side. Because if I do, I should just do it by rows, not by, by amount.
Right.
So that they are exactly the same. But other than that, it's so funny. I love that. I look at this, and I'm knitting the small, because the small is
humongous. This
big. It's meant to be very oversized. Like, it's meant to be worn with, like, 20 inches of ease, and I'm not doing that much. So that's why I'm knitting the small. But
it's a good slouchy.
I think it'll be really good with leggings. I think this might end up being another, because I wear the center point popover a bunch to knitting events with leggings, and I think this will be another good one. So I think that could be fun.
Yes.
Unfortunately, both of those are out of yarn that is no longer produced. Because then I can also, I think the next thing I want to like actively cast on might be the Traveler by Andrew Mowry, the hoodie. And so I have another one, and that one is going to be green. And that's out of that silk, or the bamboo and alpaca thing that we got.
That will be nice. Yes.
And I got the green. Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to have to.
I have my skeins of that are currently right by the window to the patio. So we were taking the furniture back out to the patio and redoing the lights. And I just kept on looking in the window and being like, "Oh, you're pretty," because I have like the purple and the pink and the black, and I'm like, "You're just so pretty."
It's nice when what you do makes your heart happy. It really is great.
Yeah. So that's what I've been working on, what I've been doing, what I'm thinking about doing next.
All right.
So you're going to show,
I'm going to show the back.
That side, yes. You're going to. So this is what you've been working on.
This is what I've been working on. I have roughly 20 inches. Mm-hmm. I need 10 more inches.
Okay.
And then I am going to put it on waste yarn.
Okay.
And I will block it before I finish it.
Okay.
Because finishing is a 3-needle bind off, which is why this is a provisional cast on. But what it is going to be needs to be 30 inches long and 9 inches wide. Okay. So that's what I'm going to block it to. I'm actually going to knit it to 30 inches so that when I make it wide, it has all the possibilities of being 9 inches and 30 inches. And then I will do a 3-needle bind off, and that'll be done. And then my plan is to make a hat out of this same pattern, which I will show you after a week from Monday. So I'll do a podcast while you're gone then.
Sure.
A short
one.
Well,
I was going to say, you could do a short one, and then I'll be back the next week.
Right. And so at that point, I can have all kinds of things to talk about, because I will have had my meeting. But this week, I'm going to talk to the Railroad Club.
Yeah, what?
It's a newish club at Manhattan College. I think it's a bunch of engineers.
Oh, goodness.
And it's funny because the guy who's president, he likes to invite you to come speak with about a week and a half's notice. He's not really a forward-thinking person. But apparently, this is not only Black History Month and Dental Month, it's also Train Month. So, he wanted me to come and be able to speak about my experience with the Norfolk Southern Railroad. It also happens to be about a year after the Norfolk Southern blew up part of Palestine, Ohio.
Yeah, the Ohio
right, causing a blevy, which is an explosion that gets hotter the longer there's a fire, there's the impact, there is a fire that starts, and there's a container that is enclosed. So this means some kind of transporting of gases, and the fire will get into the gas tanker car, and then it superheats as the fire goes in there. And because it's contained within the tanker car, in about a half an hour to an hour, there's a superheated explosion, and that's what really causes damage. I forget the name of the town that we managed to take off the map, but it wasn't Lima, but it was we tend to do things in Ohio. I'm not sure why. It may have something to do with the track, the condition of the track, and railroads are responsible for their track. Unlike national highway system, where truckers are, yes, they're paying road taxes, but we're also paying road taxes for maintenance of those roads. The individual roads themselves are the ones that do maintenance on their rails. So Conrail does maintenance on their track. Amtrak does not do maintenance. They're running over other railroads' tracks. Anyway, there may be something to do with Ohio geography. I don't know. But this wasn't the first explosion we've ever had, and it probably won't be the last. Anytime that you're transporting gases in a container car in a enclosed and trapped environment, and there's some kind of impact, you run the risk of having this kind of massive explosion. Anyway, it's a year after the Palestine, Ohio explosion. So I'm going to be there, and then apparently one of the members of the board, he didn't tell me who, God forbid he tell me who else is going to be there. A member of the board is going to talk about railroading today. It should be fun. So I thought I would wear my dress, and so when they say, and what are you doing now? I can say knitwear design, and then I can tell you all about how my train meeting went. I do like trains. Though I have to say, when we got on the train in Brussels to go to Berlin, that was not a happy occurrence because someone stole our bag in the train station. If I were to travel by train in Europe again, I think I would pay extra to have someone take me through, by the hand, through the station and make sure I was in the right car. Because I only speak English and perhaps read some French, but I'm not conversant in Flemish or German, although the German trains were pretty easy.
Yes.
Interestingly, the English trains are not always easy.
Yeah.
They tend to break up in different places. So as much as I love train travel, I find it can be a little disconcerting in the stations. So anyway, I will have a few things to talk about next week, like my train meeting. Yeah. And then I'm having dinner with Aileen.
Yes.
This is exciting. Aileen is an assistant dean of the School of Business over at Manhattan College. I had her daughter in class. I also had Aileen in class. So I just realized the other day I had 2 generations of the same family in class. You did. And they were wonderful students. So I can't wait to catch up with Aileen. So there'll be that to talk about.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Anyway, what else is new and exciting?
That's about all. But you have a magazine, and it came with an announcement.
Yes, it did. So this is Knits from Interweave, and we have exciting news. Well, with profound gratitude for your unwavering support, we proudly present the final print issue of Interweave Knits. This. In light of the escalating costs of print publishing, we've made the decision to transition to a digital-only membership. So as a current subscriber, they gave me a membership in their online Interweave Knits Makers Club.
Okay.
And this came like January 31st. So I immediately went over there and tried to sign up. And they went, oh, look, you got the mailing too soon. You have to do this after February 2nd. So I reopened it again on February 3rd and was able to sign up for their Interweave Knit Makers Club. Good. Now, and I assume other people can sign up. There may be a cost. I'm not sure. There are more than 100 exclusively curated patterns, which is a solid foundation for your knitting. 20 plus additional premium patterns are added each month to keep you in season and on trend, available for download for 30 days. I have not checked this out. As I said, I just signed up. Premium member newsletters with invaluable tips and tricks and expert techniques. Thousands of interweave.com articles and stories, plus surprises. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, we did get the print edition. I do like print editions. I like digital too. I mean, let's face it. I like knowing that I can print out a pattern at any moment. And yes, I do print out my patterns. And if they're in a book like this, I photocopy them because I like to mark it off. And in fact, here's a chart. So what I'll do is I'll photocopy that several times and I will tape it together. So I will have the entire run and I will be able to cross off each row. And there's a reason for this. I'm dyslexic, and although some people can use that knitter's tape, I can look through knitter's tape. And then the other thing I do is I look above the knitter's tape or I look below the knitter's tape, and I'm never consistent in the use of the knitter's tape.
Well, and that's the same reason why sometimes the apps don't work, because even if you're highlighting the line, you look above the line, below the line, and I have this problem too, but...
So, if I use a printed pattern and I have blackened out with a pencil, that row, my eye does not travel back down. You have to work with your own disabilities.
Yep.
And this is the mind I was born with, so I don't know any other way.
Yep.
This is how the logic goes. So anyway, I really liked the sweater that was on the front. I mean, you know I like texture. I like blue and white. What's not to love? And the pattern is further on in the book. It'll be interesting to see what happens to the advertisers. So then they have a spring in your stitch, plant-based fibers, and seasonal blends. So they have Pearl Soho Cotton Pure, Fiber Natura Ravello. It's 75% cotton, 60% merino, and 9% recycled cashmere. That's gorgeous.
That could be
That's
nice.
that you could do. Then there's Knit 1, Crochet 2 Batiste. That's 50% merino wool, 30% linen, and 20% silk. That's this. Lana Grosso Lina Pura Solo Lino. That's
linen.
That's linen. 80% recycled linen, 20% linen. And that
is
D.
It's the orange.
D. Okay. Ancient Arts Yarns, Nettle Soft. This is 68. That's not good for Ben. 68% superwash, 32% nettle.
It could be okay.
That would be interesting.
The Pheno from Julie Aislinn, he didn't super react to, and that's only 70% merino.
I'd like to see what nettle is like. Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino, that's cotton, 70% cotton, 30% wool. Valley Yarns is 60% merino, 20% silk, 20% yak.
I mean, yeah, I love a good merino silk yak. It's got luster, it's got depth.
But 60%.
I mean, yeah, we can do that. He can do that.
All right, then there's Universal Wool Pop at 50% bamboo, 35% wool, and 25% polyamide, which would be good for little kids' clothes. So these are the ones they're talking about. This is the one that I thought sounded interesting. That was the extra fine merino cotton and recycled cashmere in Sea Whisper. I think that really looks good. And then the nettle was
nettle
is this one. And looking at them, there's one thing about plant fibers that if you can mix them somewhat with wool, they become softer and easier to work with, and so your fingers actually then react to the yarn more like the way it does with 100% wool. So these sound fabulous, and I think that once I work through the backlog of the yarn that I bought at Rhinebeck and India Untangled, and I will, because
that's what I forgot. I forgot to bring the yarn that I bought at Vogue to show you all. Oh well.
All right, next time when we're both together. This is called the Modern Lace Collection. This whole magazine is on lace. This is the Ebersole top by Rachel Brockman.
It's very pretty.
It is stunning.
It's stripy, it's lacy, it's all the things you like.
It's all the things I like. It actually is all the things I like.
And it's a bit of a boat neck.
Set-in sleeve.
Hey.
All right, the next one is the Bay Crest pullover, and this looks fab.
It's beautiful.
I would put in a little waist shaping because you can see that it's a little blousey, and I would make it longer because I don't like raising my hand and having my midriff show. That's me. Not everybody's like that. Some people don't mind. I don't like the breezes.
I mean, I also wear high-waisted. I wear high-waisted pants, so
right. I tried my linen t-shirt today under my symmetry, because I was cooking. It was like 40 degrees out, and yet I knew that the hall we were going to be in was going to be warm once I started the oven. So I wore my cotton wool symmetry, and then I had a linen t-shirt on underneath. It was perfect. I was perfect temperature.
Good.
And that way, none of my body oils got to my sweater. And that's the point. I was listening to one of the clothing historians, and they were talking about knitted garments and the wool garments and how people really didn't wash them that often. And the reason is that they often wore the linen kirtles underneath. So their body oils never reached their woolen garments. You didn't have to wash them. Just didn't get touched. So I bought a linen t-shirt from H&M for like $12, and it worked out really well today. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, here is a cardigan, Charrington cardigan by Therese Chenoweth.
Very pretty.
It's really pretty. Very delicate looking. Very, very pretty. It's just, I don't often put my hand out for a cardigan unless I have a matching pullover. I like twin sets. This is the Linden tee, and I really like it. I really do like it.
Yeah.
The back is all lace. I actually think what I would do is I would do the back as the front is. I would actually square off the back right about there so that it's solid down to the hemline. But that's me. Then we have the Bixby top by Olya Makesh.
It's very pretty.
I love it. I really do love it. It really looks quite modern. Actually, maybe mid-century. I
was going to say it's a little like 1920s.
I was going to say mid-century modern.
Okay.
Because of the structural elements that are going on. The sleeves, I think, are very interesting. And I think that if it was in one of those summer weight yarns, it would be perfect. I wouldn't want bell-like sleeves in the wintertime, but in the summer, it sounds great. This is a doweling top. This is lace work side to side. And it has a wee cap sleeve. And I think that makes it almost perfect. So again, another great top to work in one of those yarns. I almost want to buy a sweater's quantity of each of them to see how they work out. A Cathaway Vest by Jennifer Kent. This looks fun. This is that she says, well, look, are you looking for a unique cover for the beach or eye-catching layer for business casual look? It just looks like fun. And there are just some summer nights where you need just something a little extra on. I'm thinking that if you're walking down by the water in the summertime, it gets a little chilly down by the water, so that may be something to throw on.
Oh, this is knit sideways.
This is knit sideways. Also, the Arrington Tee by Donna Eston. Who said working from bottom up or top down the only way is to produce a knitted garment? Look at this.
That's pretty.
Oh, stunning. Absolutely stunning. And I love, so basically you're making the square and then your sleeves are just extensions.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. Really nice. Lovely cabling and lace. Lovely. We have the Fairly cowl, which is also striped. Very nice. And then the Halvern fingerless knits. Yes, very nice. I need fingerless mitts more in the winter than I do in the summer, but hey, I'm not everybody. Okay, Gibbs Beret. A lovely kind of snowflake pattern. She did a very nice crown on that.
Yeah.
Really pretty. And then the Sommer shawl.
It's very pretty.
Really nice. A little bit heavier because it's a little more closed in. But I think it's really very nice. I think it's a rectangular shawl.
Looks like it.
And this is the merino and wool and nettle.
Oh.
It says a plant fiber similar to linen, which has a silky soft hand. I really do want to try that. And then we've got loose ends projects. These are women who finish projects for people. I think people who have passed. Exactly. So that the families can have something to remember their loved ones by. And then this is Knit the Rainbow, providing winter warmth for vulnerable LGBTQIA+ youths. We know those people.
Knit the Rainbow, we collect for them at Indie Untangled, and they were at Vogue.
Yes, they were. I remember their table. So this is basically where if you want to knit a sweater or some kind of garment, and you don't want to wear it, it's not really right for you, you can donate it to Knit the Rainbow, and there'll be someone really deserving who will wear it.
You donated not this year, but last year, I think, to them.
I did. And, sometimes I have some sweaters that, upon reflection, they're not me. And I don't wear them. I've worn them 3 times. That's about it. And so I need room in my sweater drawers for the things that I do love, like this. So I do donate periodically to Knit the Rainbow. And then they have a whole article about swatching. 1 stitch, 6 swatches showing the different yarns that you can work it up in. So fingering weights on different size. No, that's sock knit on size 2 needles, size 5 needles. This is size 5, but it's Arroyo,
which is sport.
So it's a different size yarn. So that. The project I'm working on now is the 5th version of the pattern. And then this is size 6 needles, size 9 needles, size 11 needles.
I think it's 3 different yarns, too.
Very possibly. My MoMA that I made first, the collar I had made on 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 5 different needle sizes. And that's a big neck that I really think I'm really fond of. It gives me enough breathing space, and yet it's warm in the wintertime. So I think it's something that I'm going to repeat on some other pattern.
It gives you enough breathing space. Ha 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 ha.
Great. Thanks. Yes.
Considering it gives you enough breathing space, but your breathing space, you've fallen a little out of love with it.
I have.
I don't know why it just tickled me.
It tickled you. So, and then it goes into the patterns themselves.
Yes.
So that's...
And then there's a lovely article at the end.
About Grandma.
About Kate Atherley and her grandma.
Yes, my grandma, Granny Hilda, was a gifted lifetime knitter. She taught me the basics when I was very young. Unfortunately, she had died by the time I decided to get serious about the craft. I was in my early 20s, and they had pictures of Kate and her Granny Hilda. Some of us learn from our grandparents, and some of us learn from our mothers. I have been knitting for 65 years because my mother, not constantly, my mother taught me when I was 5 because I was one of those children who was into anything she did. So she was knitting and I wanted to knit, and I was guaranteed to foul up her knitting. But I got my own knitting needles and my own yarn when I was 5, and I was thrilled. Was I making anything recognizable? No. But were
you having a great time?
I was having a great time. When my mother took up crewel embroidery, so did I. When she took up cannon cross stitch, so did I. When she did needlepoint, so did I.
I feel like you did this to me with quilting.
I don't remember doing quilting all that much, so.
Well, there was a time where you got into applique quilting,
yes.
and I was like, oh, I like this. You cut out the shapes and you put the shapes and you match the picture. This is great. Yes. And you were like, well, I thought I was doing this, but
yes,
yes,
okay. That's true. That's true. And I would buy kits, and there would be do a block a month. But I got to the point where I can have too many quilts.
Yes.
Whereas I can't imagine having too many
sweaters,
knitted garments. That just the possibility of that is just mind-boggling. Especially now that we're getting many more of the plant fiber yarns. So I think I may actually make some purchases. Your father will have heebie-jeebies. But if I finish this project, make the hat, and then if I make the other sweater relatively quickly, maybe he'll be calm about the whole thing. He's having his knee operated on. I'm going to have to be sitting around and doing these things anyway. So anyway.
I was going to say, you're going to have to be taking him to PT. He's not going to be going to PT.
No, he can drive himself. And once he...
Oh, because it's his left.
No. The first 2 weeks he's doing PT in the house on the computer.
Okay.
On the iPad.
Okay.
With the HSS person.
Yes.
Okay. At the end of 2 weeks, you make the appointment to go to PT. I will take him to the first PT appointment, and then after that, he should be able to drive himself. Because I was able to.
Well, because it's his left leg, not his right leg.
It's also his left leg, not his right leg.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my car is in the shop.
Again.
It was leaking in the driveway, and the steering went a little wacky yesterday morning. But Richard is not in the mood to go looking for a car because he's worried about his knee. So we will see how this goes. I mean, if it's not a fatal problem, in other words, if it can be fixed, we will fix it. The last car I had, the Ford Explorer, was handing parts out.
Yeah, it was like, hi, I'm done with this.
Yes, here, have part of the transmission. So
did you want one?
Yeah, really.
That was essentially what the Explorer was doing.
I had printers that when they're giving up the ghost, they'll send out the piece of paper along with a part. I'm done. I'm really done. I've given you my lifeblood. I'm now giving you my skeleton. Obviously, if it's a fatal part, we will go looking for a car. But he's not really in the mood, and I can understand that he's really worried.
Yeah. It's going to be fine.
Operations don't bother me. I figure they're not asking me to do it.
God.
I'm going to be out.
Yes.
I'll be totally out. By the time I wake up, it'll be over, and I'll just deal with recovery. That's just the way it is. But he's not. He's used to being in control, and giving up control is worrisome.
Yes. Well,
doesn't bother me. If something's not working, yank it out.
It will be all good.
It will all be fine. We're going to have all the accoutrements that they're sending. We know that there's the ice machine they're sending.
Yes.
There's a special bicycle that they're sending where you can start with little tiny movements and then gradually get bigger movements. So this is new since my surgery.
Oh, yes.
So we will get through this. We will see you, I guess, before he goes in. And then I guess we'll miss a week because I will be down in the city. Getting him settled in.
We will miss at least 1 week.
Yes.
We might miss 2, just because my father does not like me seeing him infirmed. No. When he's sick, he does not like me to come over as well. So we are going to be cognizant of this, and we are going to play it by ear.
We'll play it by ear.
So if it is,
I may do short
some
recordings.
by yourself,
Yes, as I move up with all those ideas. So anyway, that's what we've done here. I guess we'll call this to an end. We'll weave in some ends like we need to.
Yeah,
And I will be in touch with a short update next week, next Sunday. And then we'll be back together after that.
Probably the Monday after that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Very good.
You'll see us for the next few weeks.
That's right.
And then we might have a little bit of little bit of a not a hiatus, but a short reprieve.
A breathing space.
A breathing space. Oh.
Due to Dad's operation.
Yes.
We're not anticipating any problems.
Yep.
The surgeon who's doing it is the same one who did my knee, and I just found him delightful.
Yes, you did.
Delightful personality and really skillful. He is in demand, so we're very pleased about that. Anyway, we will see you.
Yes.
So we will weave in ends,
and we'll talk to you again later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.